Hey guys, welcome back to Lesbianis podcast. Today we are talking about something that sparks a lot of debate inside our community. Trans men who identify as lesbians. For some people, that's a contradiction. For others, it's a valid and deeply personal truth. We're going to unpack it all. And yeah, Jasper, he's going to unpack it all and talk to us about it all. We're gonna have some good dialogue going on. For the people that are listening and you're like, no, I'm totally on board, like with that concept, with that, like, whatever, like that's amazing. Keep listening. But if you're someone that is kind of interested in this is perfect. So we're always growing, learning more. So y'all just make sure you listen to this episode. Okay, so Jasper, thank you so much for coming on. You are also a music artist. You have your own clothing line. So we're also going to touch on that as well. But yeah, let's dive in. So everyone, welcome Jasper.
Hi. Thank you so
Hi.
much for having me.
Of course. I'm so excited to talk to you about this. There's so much to talk about. So I'm excited.
Me too.
Okay, so first we're going to touch on your passions, your creativity, that kind of stuff. And then we'll jump
Cool.
into the juicy stuff.
And then we'll get into it.
We'll get into it, yes. Okay,
Amazing.
first, before we dive into your identity, I want to talk about your creative work. It's super powerful what you're doing. So you've launched a lesbian clothing brand. Can
Yeah.
you tell us can you tell us what inspired that and what message and energy you're trying to put into these designs?
Yeah. So, I mean, really it started as like graffitiing crop tops and then I started to like put words on them because I think I've always been really into like being really visible as a queer person, and I think that's the most powerful thing you could do in the community is be visible because it makes other people feel safe. It tells the world around you like, no, we're here. And it's empowering. And also if you're out at a bar, it's fun. It's lighthearted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like we really need that.
And it's a conversation starter. If you have a shirt on that says sapphic, first of all, guys, this is one of the shirts that he has.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it hit the light.
But it is like a conversation starter, even if like, I mean, if
Like,
you're at a gay club, of course, like people are still going to be like, I love it. But even if you're just out and you have something on that's, more, what is the word? Eccentric and like more out there than like the norm. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's cool. And I think people are going to be like, I really fucking like your shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I feel
yeah,
like but I do love that. I do love that you are someone that wants to be very out there. You want to make it known. Like,
fully.
we have a place here too, and I'm going to be loud about it. Why not?
Exactly. I think it's from me being a musician too, because like I also do a lot of stage wear for people. So like who I'm really making it for is someone on stage. So that's
Mhm.
really what I'm giving everyone is like what you're wearing, like, it's something that someone would wear on
Mhm.
stage.
Mhm.
So it brings that energy of like, no, I'm fucking here. you know?
I'm here, bitch.
Yep. Making a statement, you
Yeah.
know? So that's what
Exactly. I love that. So how has your personal identity, um, being a trans man who identifies as a lesbian,
uh
influenced the way that you approach fashion and representation in your brand? I know you kind of just touched on it, but
Well, so like I just still feel so much in that community and so close to them, like I am them. I
Mhm.
am that. So I feel
I get it.
I just like where else would I be is how I feel. So that has influenced me in the way of like, I don't know, that's my community. I ride for them, I'm making stuff for them. I'm happy to be around them. Like I don't know. I am one of them. I see myself as one of them.
Yeah,
That's really
period.
all there is to it.
Love it. And you want to put that into your clothing.
Yeah, like I just want that to be known. I want to make stuff for them because I'm like, I love you guys. like, you know,
Yeah. No, yeah, I get it. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I hear you.
and those are all my friends. Those are all
Yeah.
my, that's everyone I've ever been in community with. I'm like, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, those are your people. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I want us to jump into music. I know we kind of just touched on your clothing very quickly. Is there anything else about your clothing line that you would like to talk about? Anything in specific? Anything that, a part of your journey that you want to, just
Mm.
anything that I didn't
Yeah.
ask?
Well, I think the name, I don't think a lot of people know why I named it that. and I actually I saw a photo of a tsunami that National Geographic had posted, and it said the caption was just peace and power. And I was like, it reminded me of queerness
Mm-hmm.
because the way that queer people, like, it's like sort of that like drop in the ocean makes a wave thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's what the shirts are, of
Mm-hmm.
like, there's one person that's willing to be bold, and then it makes 10 other people be like, and that does fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it makes you feel confident.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really encompasses the brand. And it reminds me of queerness. Like, we can be so soft and we could be so powerful and we could be, I don't know, it's like water. You know what
I
I
love
mean?
it. No, 100%. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I was wondering, my dumbass didn't even think to ask this question. I don't know why. But yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, I wonder what made him name it this because it's such a unique name, you know? And I'm like,
Mhm.
it makes sense, like what you literally just said. Like the reason I'm
Yeah.
like, that makes a lot of sense. Like the queer community, we're very peaceful, you know? We're just like, we just want to
Uh-huh.
love. We're just little lovers, you know? We just want to
Yeah.
exist. But we can also be really fucking powerful. Like,
Right.
don't even. You know what I mean?
The peace that you get from knowing who you are becomes your power. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
that is sort of, and the photo of the wave, it didn't look like a tsunami the way they took the photo. It just looked like this soft thing.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. I was just like, whoa. You know
You're
what I
like,
mean?
I love this.
Yeah, I was like, that is so profound to me. And it just
Yeah.
stuck, you
Yeah.
know?
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That's great. Okay, music. Let's jump into your
You're
music.
right into it.
Okay, so what kind of music do you
Mhm.
create and who do you make it for?
Okay, so I definitely think about people in cities that are not LA and are not New York, right? Like, anytime I'm writing a hook, I'm thinking of someone one day in my dreams who can come to a show and have 2 hours to not be at their house in their
Mhm.
stupid fucking town with their like one queer friend. You know what I mean? They get to come and collect with like how many ever queer people and look around the room and sing the songs. And that is like, that's what I think of. Like, that's what drives me, you know?
Yeah, like they come to your shows, they listen and they feel comfortable enough to be screaming your songs. They feel like it's a safe space.
Like, even if they're on the bus and they have the
Yeah.
earphone in, that little connection is
Mhm.
like their safe space in that stupid fuck ass bus, in that stupid fuck ass school that they have to go to. You know, that's really who I'm like doing it for, I think. Even though, was that my deep personal experience in my hometown? Yes, but then very quickly, like college, tons of queer people. Now I live in LA and I was always near New York City, but I think my heart just is there for some
Yeah.
reason living
Well,
in this
and
country.
that's great though that you're able to think about those people that are going through those things whenever you may
Yeah.
have gone through like similar situations with your upbringing but maybe not to the
Yeah.
extent but you're still
Right.
like I feel for these people that are in these fuck ass towns that
Right.
and they feel like they don't have anyone around them that they can um what is it called relate to, and so your music, like that's how I feel about my podcast. Like I grew
Yeah.
up in a well, first of all, I grew up and I didn't know I was gay. That's like a
Yeah.
whole other story.
Who
But then
does?
of course I started to experiment and I was like, yeah, this is totally my thing. But
Right.
my podcast, this is my thing.
Works for
Um
me.
but my podcast is definitely like I feel the same way. Like I'm like
Right.
I want everyone to listen to it no matter what your upbringing is, where you are, but also for the people that are like I'm nervous to be who I am. You know
Uh,
what I mean? And so listening to her
yes.
podcast, it makes me feel like I have a sense of community. Like there's people out there that relate to me. Like, you know what I mean? So I get it. I 100% get it. I love
Yeah,
that.
it's that ounce of visibility that you
Mhm.
get to be a drop and I get to be a drop and then
Mhm.
Lauren Sanderson gets to be a drop and then
Mhm.
we have all created this wave of like this queer renaissance that's happening. You know what I
Queer
mean?
renaissance. Yes,
Like, it
I love
really
it.
is.
Yeah, I love it. I fucking love it. And Lauren Sanderson, she wears your clothes as well, right?
Oh, she's so that I love her. I love her. I just gave her a bunch of stuff for my tour, and after the fourth night, she was like, "Do you have any more stuff?" I was like, "You have all of it." But then I sent her stuff, and it got lost in the mail.
Oh my god. So do you have to send it to her again?
Well, no, like we're friends. She was like, "I'll just text my, like, I'll find it,"
Got
and
you,
I
got
didn't
you.
get an update. It doesn't matter. But we were like, she literally day 4 after wearing them every single night so far, she was like, "Got any more?" I was like, "I will make you one. I love you."
Yeah. You're like, tell me what you want on a shirt and I will make it.
She's the best. She was literally like, "Anything," and I was like, "Great." Wait, I want to show you it. Not even for the recording, just for fun.
Okay.
I started doing rhinestone with graffiti, and the first thing I ever did was for her. And then the
Okay.
next day, I made other stuff, and I want to show it to you just to be annoying because I really like it.
I fucking
Not
love
even
this.
like
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait a minute,
Oh my god, wait.
it's
You
like different."
that is so fucking cool. I love that. I
So this is like the nature of like the stuff I sent her and stuff, but I was just like, "Wait,
Do you want me to
what
cut that out or do you want me to leave it in here?
care. I don't care. I just want to show you." I
I
don't
love
care.
that. I
Yeah.
fucking love that. I loved how it said trans rights on the bottom. I mean, that's the only thing I could read. There's probably more. Oh my god, I fucking love it. That's
No, because I
amazing.
did one of a kind graffiti stuff at the markets in LA because I wanted it to be like, I need that. Like, it's one of a
Yeah.
kind. It looks really cool. I'm stretching it over a canvas. And then this, I don't fucking know. Like, I was like, what if I put rhinestone on top of graffiti? And then I was like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
You're like,
So
why have I not thought of this before?
I just got into rhinestone and I'm obsessed with it. As you can see, everything I've made for Pride was rhinestone.
I love it. So are you the only one that makes your shirts or do you have other people helping you?
But I will respond to an email and be like, the team was so busy this week.
You're like me. I'm the team.
So sorry. Someone must have packed that wrong.
You're like, I will figure out who it is immediately.
Literally, and then I'm like, I will personally send out a new one for you as if that's like not normal. Like as if the CEO has come down from his throne to like
Oh,
handle the shipping.
oh my god. That
Like
is so funny. People are thinking that like you and your brand are like, "Oh my god. That's so amazing." I fucking love that for you though.
that's the shop, babe.
That's so
That's
amazing. This
power.
is like not even do you live with your partner or is it just you?
No, it's a studio. It's just one room.
Oh, period.
Yeah, it's just one room, like a very long one room. You can see the ceiling.
I fucking love that. And
It's just one room.
you live there? Like that's where you
Yeah.
live?
Mhm.
I fucking love that. Me and my partner, we are wanting to move to LA so bad. We went out there like a month or two ago and I went out there to record.
LA is perfect. I love living here so much.
I'm telling you, whenever me and my partner went, it was
Yeah.
amazing and we like me and the girl that I interviewed with, like we clicked immediately. We all went out afterwards. Have you ever heard of Futch?
Have I ever heard of fun?
I know, I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, I know. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's like an LA joke almost because Butch is like
You're like, babe, of course I know
grandfather
Futch.
lesbian. Like Butch is like LA is here and the lesbian community is like, it has us in a chokehold.
No, I know literally. I know everyone knows about it. I just have to ask because I don't want
No,
to assume, you know what I'm saying?
no, you're so
But
right.
yeah, and so we went out, we did the nightlife thing, and it was just so fucking fun. And like her
Like,
group was like, I want to be friends with you. Like, please move down here. And I'm like, I already have like a community here in LA. So like, why wouldn't I? But anyway, sorry, I'm ranting. Me and my partner, we just want to. We're like, fuck it. We
I think
want
you
to
should.
do it.
I think you should.
But it's kind of scary. Do you see your art, both music and fashion, as an extension of your queer identity or advocacy in any way? Or is it more just like a personal expression?
Hmm. I think it's tough. Okay, because like I make the Protect Trans Kids shirt. I make the like Being Queer is Heavenly shirt. So obviously like that is advocacy in some way. And like even that I have Let's Say a Sex shirt, it's like a middle finger. It's like, and what?
Yeah.
You know, you're at the grocery store and it's like, shut up, grandpa, you know? So it's like there's a punk assness to it and it borders personal expression and advocacy,
Totally.
obviously. I think it does both at the same time, but
Yeah.
I think the music is much more advocacy because I don't know, like, as much as it is personal expression, it comes from this much deeper place because I have a much deeper connection to it in this, like, fuck you, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. But I see music on such a, even though it's on such a smaller scale than what I do with the brand, I see it on such a
Mhm.
larger scale when
Mhm.
I'm creating it. My
Mhm.
shirts, I'm just like, hope someone likes this.
Yeah.
And then my music, I'm like, I know who I'm making this for. Like, it's so like sacred to me in that way. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little mix of everything.
yeah, like the personal expression always and the advocacy, I think inherently queerness
Yeah.
happens to do
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Period. Amazing.
Period.
Okay. We're going to talk about you as a trans man, your journey, your personal story, that kind of stuff, okay?
Love.
So, let's see. So, how did you come to identify as a trans man, and how did the label lesbian stay or become part of your identity?
Okay, so I like whenever anyone's like, when did you sort of like realize you were trans or whatever, like the very first thing, my friend Yaz, when I was in 10th grade, I was sort of talking about, I don't know, boobs. And I think as a kid, I had no idea who trans people were. I didn't know trans people existed. I was like in a small town outside of New York City. And I
Yeah.
was sort of like, damn, I wish I could just have pecs. And she was like, and she sent me a picture of a trans guy. I remember exactly. He like had his hand up like that and he had like pec. And I was like, I remember where I was in my room and I was like, you can I was like, you can do that flipping tables. I was like, there's no way. Like,
Yeah.
you're kidding me. Like, you can, well, that's that then, you know. So I think right away, the first thing I knew I wanted was top surgery.
All right.
And then as I started to like be a musician and like work with more like studios and like labels and music people, I was like, they're gonna have to market me as a woman. Because they're gonna hear my voice. And even if I had a number one hit, like they would have to, everyone would be like, this girl's quite lovely. And I would be like, I just, that's not, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Me in the studio, like, hold on. You know, and no disrespect to people who don't go on T, but like, I'm sure that's something they struggle with too. Everyone hears their voice and is going
Mhm.
to misgender them. And like, that's tough, right? If
Yeah.
you're not directly a fan of them. And I just wasn't, I had a big line there. I was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, that's not me. I can't.
Yeah.
Um, so that was very much like the first two things where I was like, top surgery, testosterone.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That's
And
so
then
funny that your friend sent you a picture of a, you said a trans man that was like this, and you were like, I did not know that was a thing. This is a game changer.
I was like, there's no fucking way. Get sign me up.
You're like, let's do this right now.
Yeah, literally. Because I, as a kid, like, not to be too personal, but as they were growing, I would always be like, they're growing. Like, it would be this
You're like,
constant.
ew.
Yeah, I would literally, like, from when I was a tiny, tiny kid, be like, something is happening. And every day track the growth because I was like, I don't like it. And I think that's what was happening, but I didn't have words for it. You know what I mean? To be like,
Yeah.
something is getting bigger and I don't
You're
like
like,
it.
something right here does not feel right, and it's just not me. What is it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me as a like doesn't know what trans people are. I'm like, what is it? What could it possibly be?
And that's why queer representation is so important, because if you would have had more queer representation in your life, or just, on social media or whatever, it would have helped you. Luckily your friend was able to help you, but you know what I mean, like maybe before that you could have been able to put your finger on it and be like, this is what's happening in my brain right now.
I would have gotten the Justin Bieber haircut day one. I would have
There you go.
I would have just done all that stuff before. Less shame, first of all, for
Mhm,
feeling the way I felt.
mhm.
So let's just talk about that. Maybe that's why visibility is fucking important.
So important. No, literally.
You
Shame. Oh
know,
my God. I could have a whole fucking topic, like a whole episode on that. Like,
I know.
crazy.
But that's what you don't. That's what you have to feel if you don't know that the way you feel is fine.
Wow. Period.
Hello.
Like, quite literally. No, literally. Yeah. Okay. So, for you personally, what does lesbian mean to you? Is it purely about sexual orientation, or does it also carry, cultural or community significance to you?
So I think it's definitely cultural and community significance, right? Because like there is lesbian culture,
Mhm.
there's lesbian community. Like I was on a podcast with my friend Erin, and she was like, "See, like I see you as same because when I start talking about Shannon Beveridge, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And that's culture.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
that's
Mhm.
everything we talk about. We have our own section of the internet. Like
Totally.
we understand all the same things. You know what I mean? And then like there's like maybe a Venn diagram of trans men and lesbians, and I'm in the middle. You know what I mean? Some
Mhm.
trans men don't really want to be a part of it. Or what's even more fucked up is they don't feel like they're allowed to be. And that I think coming from them is a respect thing,
Mhm.
which is beautiful. But I don't think they have to engage in it if they don't want to, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
be like, ladies, so sorry to step into your space. You're not who women and lesbians are trying to protect themselves from. And if it makes you feel really good to put on a thing that you are like someone that they should be protecting themselves from, you do you. I don't fucking know. But I don't know. I think we as a queer community are smart enough to know that there's a hell of a lot more nuance than boys and girls.
Mhm. Yep. So you're saying that you don't believe that it's sexual orientation at all. You're thinking it leans more towards the cultural and the community aspect of it, or do you think it does have a little bit of sexual orientation?
I think from when I first existed as a lesbian, that is deeply tied to sexual orientation.
Mhm.
So that created a culture that I'm in now,
Okay, I
and
see. Yeah.
I'm still there and I stay there.
Period.
I want to stay there. You know what I mean? Like I'm good, love it here. Everyone's awesome. We're foraging mushrooms. It's great. You know what I mean?
We're drinking our ceremonial cacao tea. And we're all just singing fucking Kumbaya together. We just love each other.
We're singing what Betty Davis Eyes by JoJo Siwa. I have a story. So I did
Yeah.
merch for G Flip and I dropped off the box. They wanted me to do spray paint stuff. It said gayest person alive because they have a song that said worst person alive. So they wanted that merch for that night. It was LA. So I got it over to them and I drop it off and their manager's like, love you, awesome. And then 3 seconds later I get a photo and I'm like driving and I'm like, and it's JoJo Siwa holding up the shirt because she was a special guest for that night. And I just remember driving and being like, now what in the hell? Like, is
Like,
that
wait.
Mrs. Siwa? Like, being like, I just left. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, how did Miss JoJo get my shirt? What's happening?
Yeah, like what incarnation? And then I was going to the concert later because I was the merch person, and well, they were nice and gave me a ticket, and they're so good live, it's insane, and blah blah blah. But anyways, I knew the moment that was gonna happen the whole show because JoJo was gonna come out, but no one knew, and I was like sitting in the crowd like, right,
That's
yeah. So
so funny. So wait, did G Flip have your merch on, or did JoJo, or did they both?
okay, so Lawrence Anderson, JoJo Siwa, and G Flip all came out to sing Gay for Me. And JoJo Siwa went viral at that show for doing this sort of like thing. And I was watching it as it happened, and I was like, this isn't gonna go well on the internet. And I don't know if she knows that or not, but I just remember watching it and then being like I don't know if she knows, and I'm gonna see this later. Also, she's wearing my shirt, so I'm worried because
That
I'm watching in real time this happen.
you're like Miss Girl.
Like I was like, if it's camp, I get it, and she's a genius, and also I love her, and she's like young, and I'm like, no one should be bullying her.
She's doing the damn thing.
Yeah, she makes more money than you, so shut up. Like, like she's so sweet. Like she after like she was like close with G Flip, she just learned to play the drums because she looked up to them so much. And I was like, if you're older than her, do not talk bad on her.
I remember that clip came out when she was like
Mm-hmm.
humping.
Trusting.
Yeah. And I was like, I remember when I saw it, I was like, you know what? Like the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, girl. But then I was like, what am I gonna say about that? Like, why? Like, what am
He's
I?
feeling her oats.
What'd you say?
She's feeling her oats. She's with two of her favorite musicians on stage. It's fucking special for her. No one should be yelling at her for it. What? Like, it's silly.
Like, we've done embarrassing things before in our life as well too. So
They didn't happen to be on stage. Sorry. Yeah.
exactly. That is
Get
so
more
funny.
clout, maybe. No, I'm kidding.
So when you share that you are a trans man who identifies as a lesbian,
Mhm.
the reactions you get aren't good, okay? They're not good. Do you see it mainly in the in the community, like in the LGBTQIA plus community?
Yes.
You're like, period, point blank.
I have to start the sentence. Yes. Continue.
Okay, and who do you see it mostly in? Like, do you see it in like more cis lesbians or other trans people, or just like,
Both.
you know? Okay,
So literally, like, trans men will be like, this is incredibly disrespectful to women and me. Like, I can't believe that you would stray from manhood after you became a man because it makes me feel like less of a man when you identify as a lesbian. I'm like, right, you just cocked your head to the side. Right. And then cis lesbians are like, you think I want you in our fucking space? And I'm like, oh,
you're like, where do I belong? You're like, I'm
I love the violence.
my god. See, and that's insane. And what's crazy to me is when other trans men are like, you're it's like they're trying to make it seem like you're taking away something from them. And it's like, just because you see it a certain way doesn't mean you're taking anything away from the
No.
other trans men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what they are saying is that if my uncle or dad or friend ever looked at me and went, "You're still a lesbian," I would lose my shit. So, like, yeah, that makes goddamn sense that they would be like, I don't want my grandpa to, not my grandpa is not on Instagram, their friend or whoever to go along on Instagram and learn for some reason because we get zero chances to be visible in the, I don't know, world outside of the queer community. They don't want one of the rules to backtrack and send us back 20 years to become trans men or lesbians. Trans men aren't men
So
because
when
they
you
think
say
that's what I'm saying.
So when you
I'm
say
not.
like and you're specifically talking about the trans men, that's how they see it, right? They're like, don't backtrack us. Like it's
Right.
like disrespectful. What do you mean by that? Like, what are they
Yeah.
meaning backtracking? Like what does that mean?
Well, like I said, like the cultural renaissance in the like 90s and 2000s where people being like, trans men, they are real men. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now I'm saying like I did transition, but it's not to be seen as like I want to be a like man and I want to be a straight guy and now I'm a guy. You know what I mean? So they, I think, are identifying with that version of transness, which is lovely, great, and cool and awesome. But I just happen to not. And I'm very much more gender neutral or whatever. And they are like, don't take the fact that trans men are men, period, point blank, away from us. We
Okay.
just got it. We
Okay.
just acquired it. So then if you're on here being like, I'm actually a girl still in their mind, they're like, don't fucking say that shit. They're gonna hear you. You know what I mean?
So yeah, so they're relating being a lesbian as like,
A girl. Being a
yes,
girl.
okay, this is, yes, okay. Yeah, because yeah, the whole thing is, a big variety of the trans community, it's like I transition to be a man, and so I identify
Right.
as a man. I am a man. And so
Right.
I can see how some people are like, I went through all of this work because I feel like I am a man. So, I identify as a trans man. So whenever you tell me that I can be considered a lesbian, like, that's disrespectful. I can see how they
Right.
see that, but then again, I'm
Right.
also like, but people view things differently all the time. So why do they have to take so much disrespect to it? And of course, I'm not a part of the trans community, so I'm not trying to speak on anyone. It's just the conversation we're having. I'm like, this is really interesting. I'm trying to like be in their shoes as much as I can. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's very interesting.
Yeah, and it's very much like they are not a trans person, so they have not gone through all of the nuances of the experience of being like, oh, like, I want mustache, I want these things, but I am so happy to still be called a lesbian and still be with this community. I really honestly
Yeah.
do like the word sapphic better just for myself because it feels more gender expansive. Um But I just love the like concept of also what you said, like people don't think about non-binary people.
Mm-hmm.
When we have this whole conversation, where are non-binary people? Where are butches with top surgery? Where is the middle? Because what I see in those conversations is just boy girl.
Mm-hmm.
Why are queer people doing that? You goddamn transitioned and you don't understand the nuance of non-binary or between genders, which I'm sure you have looked androgynous. I'm sure you have you know what I mean? I'm like, how is that going miffed on you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. So, have you ever felt like people,
Mm-hmm.
which I assume so,
I've
but
never felt
want you want you to pick a side, either fully claim a male identity or leave the lesbian spaces, or just drop the male identity to stay connected to the lesbian community?
point blank yes. Like they're like, if you're a man, get the fuck out. And then even people in my comments are like, there's many other spaces that you can escort yourself to besides lesbian.
God.
And I'm like, why do you want me gone so bad? I get it. I get it's the nuance of I can't look at you and know what you are. So, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Right. But we are becoming a gender expansive society. We're becoming someone that you don't know. And I think we're moving more into like someone at Playboy had said this where they were just like, if you're hot, you're hot. That's really what it is,
Yep.
right? And like I think that like everyone is like, oh my God, like, you know, what are you gonna do if you go into a lesbian space? No cis man is paying $20 to go to Futch. So if
Or
you see me there, your brain is thinking a couple things that are probably not like, hello, think that trans people exist at all. It's, that's kind of the equation.
yeah. Okay, I have so many questions, but I'm probably gonna
Yeah.
ask you some like okay, I'm just not gonna get ahead of myself. Okay. Why do you think some people in queer spaces feel so strongly that lesbian should only describe women?
Uh, they don't put trans people into their equation. They don't even put non-binary people into their equation because they've said the word woman. It's just cisness, and I think they're in a cis lens.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah. Yeah. It is
Right.
interesting. Like I was talking to my partner about this, and this is why I love what I do because I get to, my brain is able to go outside of the realm and like just whatever. But my partner was saying the same thing. She was like, wouldn't it be in her brain she's thinking, wouldn't it be disrespectful
Uh-huh.
to assume that a trans man is lesbian because the whole thing nowadays is, and I know we've probably already talked about this, it's just what fucking popped up in my brain just now.
No, but yeah.
Um the whole thing is a trans man is a man. So if you say that they're a lesbian,
Mhm.
they're going to correlate lesbian with woman and that's just disrespectful. So like do you believe, and like we can cut this out if it's too much, do you believe trans men are men, or are you like, what'd you say?
Like, I believe that they are what they want to be because I believe in he, him lesbians, and I believe in like you can use he, him pronouns and still be non-binary. I
Okay.
think there's a lot of ways that you can experience gender. And what you said about like the trans men are men thing, like, yeah, I think that when I think of what you said, I think of like my hairdresser who went on testosterone a little bit and then went off it because they wanted to look a little more androgynous. And then would a lesbian be like, get out of our space or what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like spectrum here, and I think lesbians and cis lesbians are trying to decide where they cut it off.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah.
why do they have to decide? Like why are they the ones deciding who can be in their, spaces? You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
Yeah, I saw this lovely, lovely creator on TikTok. I wish I knew their name. They were so smart, and they said like they did a skit where they were like, it was one person who was like, trans men can't be in lesbian spaces, and then they were themselves in it, and they were like, it was the one person being like, "Oh, like, why is that guy in here?" And they were like, "Oh, like, that's Charlie. Like, they literally run this event. They, like, transitioned a couple years ago, and they have run this event for 15 years." And I was like, "Period." Like, they built this space. Like, I know someone who works for Gorin Hats, Nick. They're amazing. And they owned a lesbian clothing brand in New York City, and they often got it. Like, they worked with the L Word, and now they're like a trans guy. I do not think they identify as lesbian. I really don't know. But if they fucking did, of course, like,
Yeah.
right? Like, just because you want to acquire like something that testosterone is going to give you, like, I think there's a lot of masked lesbians who have not gone on T who are a lot more masculine than I even want to be. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
totally.
so that is how I see it.
And it's I love that. I love that. There's so
Yeah.
many. It's just so interesting. I saw whenever I get like in my head, I like start like rubbing my face. I'm like, okay,
I can see your gears, like, you're like processing.
I love this. Okay, so
Yeah.
I know you've explained like a ton and like it's so
Mhm.
educational. I love this.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask, so you identify as a lesbian, as a trans man.
Yeah. Just
Trans-
in the sapphic community, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you say, and seriously, correct me if you're like, Kinley, I've already
Yeah.
explained this. What are you not fucking getting? I'm just
I'll
trying to
keep that.
I'm just trying to like get your train of thought because I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying about like, but would you say you identify as a lesbian because you still feel like a sense of like womanhood in you from like,
Yes. I am so proud of it. I want to be in women's circles
yeah.
in spirituality. I want to I want to be all with them, you know what I mean? Like anytime me and my friends hang out, I'm like, girls, like, I'm not offended by that. I don't know if that is my gender or if I'm secure in my femininity. I don't know what, or I'm secure in my transness. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but also, I also want to bring up to this conversation, what about trans men who go on T and don't pass, because that also still happens. Like, some people never get facial hair and some people's voice never drop, and they could, one, want to identify as men and be really removed from womanhood, or they could, like me, really still want to identify in the lesbian community, partly because maybe society is still going to treat them that way, whatever. But right, like, and I also, a lot of people under my videos say like, nobody has a problem with like trans women still like being on Grinder and still like being like, I'm gay, right? Because
Mhm.
that's still a part. Some trans women fucking hate it, don't like it, are not going to be a part of it. But like, I just think of, oh, one of my friends, I forget their name, but like, they're very androgynous. They have like a tiny little mustache, but like whatever, like, you would clock them as non-binary. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you clock them as, but like, I'm trying to say, like, you would let them be lesbian only because they did not get the effects that they wanted, even
Mhm.
though they would look more masculine if they had the choice. And also, I love the like butches on tea. Like, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I would joke with my partner. I was like, do I get to be mom? And like, because that would make me so happy. I feel so like into womanhood, and that does not mean I want to be pregnant. I have
Like
dysphoria.
absolutely not.
No, but like, I did just different for everyone. Like, I just love womanhood. I feel it's so interesting to say this, but I feel like a woman more than ever. Is that crazy? I experience gender in such a interesting way. Like, I really am so, and it's not about detransitioning, but I internally feel at peace with womanhood, and I could not want to be with women and in community with women and seen as one of them more.
So would you say you internally feel like more like a woman, but your physical like
Right?
this
Isn't
is
that
so
so
interesting.
crazy? Isn't that so crazy? Like, I don't know how to describe it.
No, it's not crazy. No, it's not crazy at all. I'm just thinking like, of
Doesn't
course
make
someone that's
sense.
not in the trans community, like it is very interesting like hearing so like you went through the process of transitioning to,
Right.
look physically more
Uh-huh.
would you say more masculine or more like a man?
Yes. Either.
Okay.
I love when I go to the gym and I'm like, yeah, like I like that. I like wearing my little wife pleasers or whatever. And
Mhm.
like my therapist, I remember her being like, so like, what are your favorite parts about your body? And I was like, my mustache, my pecs. And she was like, okay, you're trans. Like, because she was like, did you want to transition? I think that's people's question when I'm like, I'm a lesbian. They're like, you want to be a girl? And when I'm like, I'm so secure in my womanhood, I don't know what that means to me, but it feels really good. Does that make sense?
Oh, and you know what's funny? Like when you say womanhood, are you meaning like yeah, this could we there's you have so many topics that I'm like I want to make an episode on this because it's so interesting. Like no, and like it's funny because like the trans community, like
Mhm.
the trans men that are
Yeah.
totally against what you're saying right now, they're like, "No, I want to be considered a man." So you
Mhm.
saying that you feel so strong in your womanhood, like absolutely not, that's not me. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see that like you identify as a trans man. What are your pronouns?
Like he, him, he, they.
Okay. And
And
a lot of people would be like, well, why would you transition to be a man if you're so content with your womanhood? You know what I mean? So it's
because I
in
was not content with my physical body.
that's what I was just about to say. It's like internally you're like, I'm confident in my womanhood, but externally you're like, I want to look different because I feel more
Yes.
comfortable when I look
Mhm.
this way.
Right. And I think I'm describing it as womanhood because I've had it. I think
Yeah.
if I was a cis man, I would say femininity
Mhm.
because I would have no experience of
Mhm.
womanhood to deter to or to
Yeah.
feel or to be around community and women with other as a woman. I
Yeah.
wouldn't understand what that is. But since I'm a trans person and I do, you're not kicking me out. That's all. That's the place I want to be in. I
Yeah.
don't care that I have a mustache. And I think the only thing that makes me different from a mask lesbian is the fact that I've gone on HRT. I think that's the only difference of like why I'm excommunicated from the community because they're like, well, I'm not sexually attracted to you. So get out because now you have a mustache. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, it's not about it's about me being able to be with my friends and be here and like be in community here and like some of you would be attracted to me. I we are the same mentally to me,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's just externally you look different.
Yeah, and some trans men don't want that. And some butches, like I said, like butch top surgery, butch like a little bit of testosterone didn't go fully with it. There's so much in the middle.
There is so much.
You don't have to
Wow.
be attracted to them to let them into the door and
Yeah,
tell
like
them that this is your community.
I think it does need to be normalized because like I said, it's so pushed on the community that if you transition into a woman, you're a
Yeah.
woman, you know?
Right. Right. And like that's a respect thing and that's a
Yeah.
binary thing.
Yeah. Like I could literally whatever you identify as, I could literally care less. Like go you period if you're happy with like I literally don't care. You know what I mean?
I know it's so interesting because like I think I have gone to a woman's circle and I messaged the person like, am I allowed to come to this? Like I'm trans, like I was a girl. And she was
Oh.
like, ah. And I was
Oh,
like, thank you. You know?
like, thank you so much.
Yeah, she was so welcoming. Oh, I want to say for a second, like I love her so much. And like she I think has like passed away at this point, like in a crazy way. And like I just those are the people that we need in the spiritual community. Like anyways, moving on.
So, what do you hope people listening to this conversation will take away? I know there's so much, so it's okay if you have to like fucking think about this for a second. Um,
Yeah.
but especially people who might initially feel confused or even
Uh-huh.
resistant to the idea that trans men can
Mm.
identify as lesbians.
I hope that they would take away the gender expansiveness of non-binary people and that if you see gender as a spectrum, you would inherently understand how someone could be in the middle
Mhm.
or even closer to this masculine more side and still be a part of this community because it's not about the way you look.
Mhm.
It's not. We're not letting cis men, we're not letting straight cis men into a lesbian community. No one's asking for that. Nobody wants that. You know?
Absolutely not.
So it's more about the gender expansiveness of like butches on T, butches with top surgery. You know what I mean? People who might not pass as a like cis looking man or
Yeah.
whatever that means, still let into the lesbian community. Therefore, I would like to be let into,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, if there is a trans man listening right now who feels connected to the word lesbian,
I love
but scared to say it out loud, what would
you.
you want him to know?
Go onto your rooftop right now. No, I'm kidding. Like, just know that a lot of people pushing back on this are either very young or do not understand the spectrum of transness and
Mhm,
gender expansiveness in the way that you can, like I said, be non binary
mhm,
or whatever. And you certainly do not even have to identify as non binary to still want to be in the community that you were just goddamn in, what, 4 months ago?
mhm,
What? You don't need to excommunicate yourself because you have a mustache. That's crazy.
mhm,
Like, you don't have to be binary like that. Boys and girls don't have to be separated in the
mhm,
queer community. You can be a different version of a boy. You can still be seen the way you want to be seen and not excommunicate yourself from the sapphic community. We respect you and love you, and cis lesbians will respect you and love you, right? Just
mhm,
like you do.
mhm.
And you're welcome right in.
Yeah.
And some of us and some of you guys will even be like, you're really hot. You know what I mean? Because they understand that you're not a cis man, right?
Mhm.
Like,
It makes
like
it
there's
yeah.
can still be attraction there,
Yeah.
right? Like especially like I think of like masked lesbians and like some of them are maybe trans men who have not gone on T yet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's that nuance too of like we're all there together before and after.
Uh-huh. 100%.
Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't touched on that you would like to share about your journey, your creative work, or just about, the trans men being able to identify as lesbians?
I don't think so. I think we went the deepest I've ever gone on the gender expansiveness in this podcast because I think after this coming up on social and me talking about it more and more, I just knew it in my soul. Like it was obvious to me. It's not something that I felt needed to be explained, but then apparently it did. So I think I've really found the words for it, especially
Mhm.
like in the past couple weeks, in the past month or two. So
Yeah.
coming on here, I was able to say it in such a like solid way that I even like as I was saying it, I was like, yeah, like it's really like so simple. But it is something that I think trans people get easier than a cis person because they just haven't gone through the like, is gender even that like real? Does that make sense? Like it's real in a sense, but then it feels so silly
Mhm.
after you transition. You're like, now when I go to the gas station, someone's like, oh, what's up, boss? And you're like, I'm the same goddamn person. And then I'm at the beach, I'm like, it's the same goddamn nipple. And now you're looking at it with your eyes. And now it's okay. Oh, it all feels so silly. So I think
Yeah.
when queer people continue to uphold the like gender of it all, I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
you know,
100%. The you flashing us your titty, that's gonna be the clip. That's just gonna be like the clip, literally. I'm gonna like screenshot that and put it.
it's just my nipple that big. I've done
Just zoom in on your nipple and it's just like
You put my nipple as my face the whole time. I did that. I was like, I'd made a joke on TikTok that was like, a lot of like, people who hate trans people are like, you need mental help, and I'm like, you think I didn't get mental help, and then they told me to transition, like, and then I like flashed my like, not flash, showed my nipple,
yeah.
and they were like, ah! Like they were like, did I just see her tit? And I was like, you did actually.
Actually.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not upset
Yeah.
about like being seen as a woman. I don't know. I don't know why. I just am like, hell yeah.
And you know what? I think it's amazing that we're able to have these conversations because how you feel is probably how I mean, I know a ton of other
Mhm.
trans men feel, and they're probably nervous to talk about it because I keep saying this, but because it's so pushed on the community and just people in general that
Yeah.
when you transition,
Yeah.
that is strictly who they are. They're like you. if you're a trans man, think like anything womanhood, femininity, it's just like no. And I'm not specific, like I
Right.
know that, you know, that's not everyone's view on it. So I love that you're able to be like, no, I know where I came from. I still feel that inside me. Yes, I look like a
Mhm.
trans man. I identify as a trans man, but I'm still me.
Yeah, right. Like, I think it's so crazy too because I think to pass as a masculine person or as a trans man, the society asks of you, like I said, to be cold and to shut down and be. Because if I go to the grocery store and I'm like, thank you so much, gay, faggot, and try no trans men don't want that either,
Yeah.
especially in the South. So I understand all the nuances of why people would not feel comfortable in their femininity as a man because it is very dangerous. If you are a lesbian and you are presenting as masculine, I think there's this thing that people are like, especially in the South, they're like, you're not even a person. We're not even gonna bother with you. To like, people police me so much more because now I'm a man to them, and they're like, don't ruin your masculinity with femininity. Does that
And
make
that's what you
sense?
were saying earlier about the toxic masculinity. You're like, I don't want to be that. Like if I
Yeah.
want to feel my femininity side, feel my womanhood still,
Yeah.
then I'm going to do that.
Right. Like all of my trans friends, like my trans man friends who identify as straight, I love them. They're not being this like, yeah, like guy. I'm like, ugh. Like anyone who does that, I'm like, we will not be friends. You will not be in my vicinity. We will
Yeah.
have to be girly pop if we're gonna get along because I don't know. Like, I guess some people are just a little more low key, but I don't know how to say it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like it's your preference. I mean, what you're saying is just your preference of who you want around in your circle. And I get it. Like, you don't want that toxic masculinity in your circle, period. Like, and that's,
Period. That phone.
yeah, like, that's exactly how I am. And, you know, like, if there's people out there that have transitioned and they want to have that masculinity like vibe, good for you. Like, there's no judgment. It's just your preference.
Yeah, and a lot of trans men, I think growing up, they were like, I always wanted to be with the boys. And like, I definitely did that. I
Yeah.
definitely did that because I didn't want to play with the girls. I didn't want to be doing that. Like, I'm not painting my nails. Like, that's not happening. You know what I mean? But I think even to this day, like, me, like, a lot of trans men are like, it's so nourishing to have like male friends. It's not to me. I don't know.
You're like, I want women around.
Right? You know what I mean?
Or
So,
like,
like,
yeah.
that's, I think, something else that I identify in myself where I'm like, girls, me, us,
Yeah.
we. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I love this. Yeah. Well, that's the end of the episode.
yeah.
I feel like there were so many topics. Like literally, I know I've said this so many times, but like you brought things up and I was like, "Oh my god, I could talk about this forever." And like I apologize if there were some questions where I was like, "Amazing, period." And then I jumped to the next one. It's because I know I'm going to go on a rant and I'm like, "Kinley, you can't."
That's fine. I did a podcast with Wrong Sauce, and we were there for 3 hours.
I love that. See, but that's
Back on.
and the longest I've ever done was like a 2.5 hour one, and I felt so bad. But they were like, "This went by so quickly. Like that's totally fine."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Yeah, but I
It
told you
was.
it was gonna be an hour and a half, so like I apologize." So
All right,
anyway,
FaceTime.
but
Of
yes, okay. So thank you so much for coming on,
course.
everyone. This was like super fucking educational. And Jasper, drop your socials so people can come find you. They can see your TikToks, you talking about this topic.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just Jasper on the internet on like Instagram and TikTok. And then like my shop is Peace and Power Shop, but
Mhm.
just on Instagram. The TikTok is pretty much both of them, and then the
Yeah,
Instagram is just that one, yeah.
amazing. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much for coming on.
of
I'm excited
course.
to see you in person in August.
I know, I know.
You guys, we just talked for like 45 minutes. But we're totally cutting that out. But I forgot that I didn't end this. So hi guys. Jasper just left his socials, so definitely go check him out.
PeaceandPowerShop.com.
Yes, and this is one of his shirts. It's a sapphic. It's amazing.
And it's rhinestone and it's sparkly.
It is. It's very sparkly. We love the sparkles. Okay, guys, I post every Wednesday. And I
Ooh.
have some cool people coming on, so definitely stay tuned for that. And I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye.
Yay. Bye.